The Supreme Court has more cases left to decide this term on everything from immigration to climate change. In West Virginia versus the Environmental Protection Agency, the court will decide how much the EPA can regulate greenhouse gases from power plants. The court is also set to decide on whether or not President Biden can end the Remain in Mexico policy. That program, started under the Trump administration, sends some asylum seekers to wait in Mexico while their cases are decided. CBS News immigration reporter Camilo Montoya-Galvez joins me now for more. Camilo, always good to see you. So how might this ruling against the Biden administration and the Remain in Mexico case policy change the U.S.'s approach when it comes to immigration?
Hi, Caitlin. At the center of this case is the Biden administration's decision last year to end the Trump-era Remain in Mexico policy, which requires migrants to wait for their court hearings outside of the U.S. Republican officials and Trump-era administration officials have said that this policy is an effective border control measure that discourages economic migrants from using the U.S. asylum system to stay and work here. But Democratic lawmakers and the Biden administration have argued, Caitlin, that this program places migrants at risk of being victimized in areas of Mexico where the State Department warns Americans not to visit because of high levels of crime and violence. The Supreme Court tomorrow is expected to decide whether the Biden administration can finally end the Remain in Mexico policy, which was reinstated in December because of a lawsuit filed by Republican officials in Texas and Missouri. But this case is bigger than just this policy, Caitlin. That ruling tomorrow could determine whether lower court judges have the legal authority to block and stop immigration changes by the executive branch. And that would be a huge ruling because, as you know, litigation has really shaped U.S. immigration policy on a national basis for the past 10 years.
Yeah, Camilo, far-ranging implications for that decision that we'll all be watching tomorrow. Another thing that you've been reporting on is this tragic, these dozens of migrants dying in triple-digit heat in a tractor trailer on Monday in San Antonio. I want to play a little bit of your conversation with Homeland Security Investigations Special Agent and then get your response on the other side.
This is an eye-opening, horrific event that we haven't seen these numbers before. This is the highest casualty event related to human smuggling in the U.S. history.
I mean, this is just a devastating story. What more can you tell us about the investigation into these deaths?
Yeah, Caitlin, the death toll in this tragic incident has unfortunately increased to 53 individuals. Another 11 individuals who were found at the scene of this incident remain hospitalized. The Department of Homeland Security has detained 3 individuals as part of its federal investigation into this suspected migrant smuggling operation. While the special agent in charge from the Department of Homeland Security did not get into the specifics of the investigation, which is still ongoing, he did tell me, Caitlin, that officials have recorded an increase in migrants paying thousands of dollars to smugglers so they can transport them in crowded tractor trailers, often with no air conditioning. And while this tragic incident is unprecedented in terms of the number of victims, it unfortunately is part of a broader trend, Caitlin. In 2021, officials said that approximately 650 migrants died attempting to cross the U.S.-Mexico border.
Yeah, indeed, unfortunate that this has happened before. I want to ask about Texas Governor Greg Abbott's response because he has touted border security agreements with Mexican governors. But Customs and Border Patrol encounters have gone up in 3 months since those deals were brokered. Is this, along with migrant deaths raising any questions about how effective Abbott's efforts have actually been at the border?
Yeah, Governor Abbott has certainly positioned himself as a leading opponent of President Biden's immigration and border policies. The Texas governor has already instructed officials to arrest migrants on state trespassing charges. He has deployed National Guard units to the U.S.-Mexico border. He has stopped licensing federal shelters for unaccompanied children. And he has also instructed state officials to intercept and stop vehicles suspected of transporting migrants who are released from Border Patrol custody. Many of these policies have been either limited or have been discontinued, Caitlin, including because of litigation, but they've been really limited and restricted by one important legal fact, Caitlin, and that is that state officials lack the legal authority to enforce federal immigration laws. And while, yes, the Biden administration and Governor Abbott have engaged in this political battle over U.S. immigration policy, in the meantime, border arrivals have continued to increase. In May, Border Patrol recorded an all-time high in apprehensions of migrants crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally.
A lot of finger pointing going on politically, but Camilo, your reporting always highlights the humans behind these policies and who is actually impacted. So we thank you so much for your reporting and staying on this for us, and we're lucky to have you. Thank you.